All right, a very, very good morning to you and a brand new week. It's the 18th of, that is the month of March, 2024 is the year. And really, I must say, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And for me, I did spend my weekend, that is at Moni University, and Saturday, the whole of Saturday, I must say I was, that is at this university here, following the affairs, that is for the next guild elections. And I must say, seated on my right is actually the candidate who did go through these elections here. And I must say, congratulations, and he is none other than Honorable CHANDIGA Wilson, that is the guild president-elect of Moni University, and he will be able to really chair the affairs, or that is of the 9th guild at the university. And I must say, you're most welcome to the show, and congratulations to you once upon making that milestone there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Presenter. I'm so happy to be here at West Nile TV today. My name is CHANDIGA Wilson. I am a Year 2 student, Faculty of Education, pursuing Bachelor of Science with Education, and I am the guild president-elect in the 9th Guild Council. Thank you.
From the observation, you managed to scoop, that is more than 380 votes, and I must say maybe that could have been from a reason as to why some of the students trusted you and your opponent was in 200. Maybe what really made the students to entrust you with their votes? What is that unique thing that maybe was in your manifesto that your opponent could not have had, or maybe the one reason that these students could have trusted you for one reason or the other? What is that one factor that could say that this is what really made you to go through?
Thank you so much. And my manifesto was very realistic, first of all, and that was actually the one major factor that made students to trust in my manifesto. You know, the guild election is only for one academic year, and so all the manifesto that will come up with, they have to be achievable in a year. If you talk about something which is not achievable in a year, then it becomes out of time. It will not be within the time limit that you are supposed to work in. So my manifestos were very specific, and they were very simple and very achievable. And I had a vision, and my vision is so strong that students cannot fail to buy. And that's why they trusted me, and then they voted me massively.
Okay, maybe what is that one thing that in this manifesto you have not told us? What is that one unique feature? Because as I was able to move at the university there, one thing that the students were able to tell me is that they wanted a student-centered guild. And then what do they mean? Actually, I didn't understand what they really meant by wanting a student-centered guild. What is that really one thing that really could have made these students believe in you, that it is you to really reach them, that maybe give them that kind of leadership that they want?
My vision is clear. I want to build a guild which is entirely centered around students. And this does not mean I am going to work alone, but this means me as a guild president will be working with the students and also with the administration, and more so, I will be very accessible to these students, and I will be there always to hear their voices and then take it to the responsible offices. Because for so long they have witnessed guild presidents where after election they disappear forever. You don't have access to them, you don't have time to ask them questions, and more so there is no accountability of what has so far been done or what is yet to be done, and maybe even the financial accountability. This is very, very, very important as far as giving feedback is concerned. So my vision is to build a guild which is centered around students, and I promise them I am going to be with them in my regime. I am going to associate with them freely, and of course be getting ideas and advice from them. This is going to make me not just work alone as a leader, but I will be working in collaboration with my students, because as a guild president, my job is to represent the students in the university council, and also present their issues that affects them. And that's why I think they believed in me, and they thought I am the right candidate.
Okay. You realize that maybe aspiring with a female is usually very, very difficult, and you managed to do it and make it through. That is to see to it that you beat your opponent, who is a female. And maybe what next? Are we expecting you to work with her? And really that is something I must also make it very clearly here. Are we expecting you to really work with her? Well, because I didn't have a chance to meet her, as my struggles were in vain. To meet her, I actually looked for her, but I couldn't get her. And really, maybe what next for you and her? To see to that you maybe take the affairs of the university to the next level. Because at the end of the day, what we expect from the two of you is to see to that you take the leadership, that is the mantle, to the next level. We do not expect to see maybe the affairs of Mon University remaining stagnated or going back perhaps, but really we expect progress now. And I believe that is also really something that maybe you are now thinking about as your way to be sworn in as the next guild president of the university.
My opponent is a great leader. I must appreciate that. And I've seen leadership quality. We are both in year 2, and we have been working together. She's my sister, because she also belongs to this region, first of all. So I'm going to still work with her, because I need every idea from every student for me to work effectively. So she's not going to be eliminated out, and I'm going to engage her and also work with her, because I need to buy her ideas. Because what we all believed in is we want a better money tomorrow. We want to advertise our money outside there so that it is at the level of every other universities. We don't want money to die out. We want money to shine so that we will attract even more students to come and join our university. So she is going to be really going to be working with me just like every other student. Okay.
One thing that was really realized in these elections is it was a bit chaotic, that is compared to maybe the other previous elections, and in interaction with maybe the former guild also, because I was able to really also have a chance, that is to have a one-on-one with the former speaker, and he actually did come out clearly tell me that these elections were more violent compared to the other elections, and we would see this evident where vehicles were seen ferrying students to and from campuses and other residences to really come to campus to ensure that they take part in these elections. And I believe you also had your own vehicle as your candidate. Also did have her own. And I believe that is also one thing that really maybe these chaotic scenes are said to have come from. And what really made these elections that tight, in your own opinion?
I will say this election was not chaotic. I will say it was entirely peaceful. But what did the police deployment mean? Because we did see a heavy deployment taking place at the campus. That is already a sign. Yeah. You know when there's election going on, there are propaganda being sprayed, just floating around. And my camp from the start has been labeled as occupied by hooligans. And that was actually one major reason why people thought my people are going to be chaotic, they are going to cause problems, they are going to fight. And one other thing that came out actually was someone was beaten from people from my camp, and this made police to arrest 3 of my boys who are in my camp. And when I tried to follow up this issue, the boy who claimed to be beaten actually came and testified that yeah, he was beaten, but then he was not so sure whether those were students or those were community members from outside. He could not identify anyone, but what came out later is that police claimed to have done investigations, and then they arrested 3 of my boys without any clear evidence that they are the one for sure who beat this boy up. But then since the boy claimed that he didn't know who really beat him, because he had no facial contact with those who beat him, and he could not recognize anything, because that time he was drunk. Yeah, he was drunk, and because it was open air for these GRCs, so the vibe was there, everyone was vibrant, you know, people took a lot of liquor, so many people were drunk. So because there was no evidence that this and this and this beat him, these 3 boys were released, and as I speak, the case is still there, and it's being followed up by the police. More investigation is being followed up, and I think that was the reason why, if at all you heard about a chaotic election, that was where it originated, but it was entirely false allegation. Yeah, so I don't want to believe in those things. Yeah.
So maybe one thing I cannot also exclude is the aspect of money in these elections. We did see this evident where people are said to have spent a lot of monies, and I don't know how much you spent. You also be able to tell us. and then maybe what you really want to do to Moni to make uni shine brighter as you head into your period, because we expect to do a lot. We're not going to expect you to also really maybe sit down, but before you get into that, maybe what challenge did you face in these elections right from the time we began? Because we could see videos of the elections, the campaign period really also going on, where you were seen on motorcycle, moving here and there with your candidates. Maybe what is that difficult moment that you encountered during the campaign process?
First of all, I would like to thank each and everyone who were there in my camp, because the camp was so united and very cooperative. We collectively spent our money, but you cannot even realize that we spent money. Why? Because money was not coming just not from me, but my supporters were supporting me out of person. They were supporting me because they are aware of my leadership quality, and they were so devoted to make sure I am there in that position. So they sometimes donate for me, like transport. They donate their motorbikes, their cars, and that made actually my work to be very easy and very simple, and I must really thank them. And then also my camp was full of humble people, much as we were labeled to be chaotic people, but as I said before, those are just allegations. And then about the challenges that I faced, you know, it was kind of hard to balance the election process with the academics. Yeah, because you find here you have to go and prepare for presentations, tests coming out, and other courseworks also. So it is kind of very hard to balance it with academics effectively. And my vision, actually, when I was spreading my manifesto, it was just covering few things, especially students' welfare, academics, and then I realized the community has been kind of left behind, Mr. Presenter. Okay. The community has been left behind as far as engaging them in money activity is concerned. So in one of my manifestos, I want to try my best to make sure the community is massively engaged, because I believe... You know,
talking about the community and the public relations, you realize that they are a stakeholder and you cannot really exclude them out. And then maybe under your own opinion and maybe in your own leadership, in your own abilities, what are you going to see to that you bring the community closer? Because you cannot run away from them. Under public relations, as I did say earlier on, they are definitely a stakeholder that you will not really exclude out. Maybe what is that one thing that you really do to also ensure that the community understands that money has to exist, and they also really have to understand the benefit of money, and money also has to maybe also benefit from the community, because you realize that before the two cannot work, that is separately. Definitely the one will have to depend on the other, and the community also definitely needs Moon University, and as well as much as Moon University also needs the community, because without the other, definitely the affairs may be affected one way or the other. First of all, let's take a situation where the community is not willing to work with the students. Definitely there's going to be a lot of challenges, and once also the students are not willing to work with the communities, definitely we're also going to be encountering a number of problems. I think that is also one thing that you could really also put for us forward as we head into this short commercial break. Maybe what is that one thing that you could put for us, how best you're going to work with the community in terms of addressing those differences?
Thank you so much. You know, I'm really so sorry to point out this, but most of our community members, they really don't know that our university exists here. They're not aware that our university exists. And more so, there are so many things that they don't know about Moon University. Even the program that Moon offers, they don't really know about them. And in my vision, I want to engage in them. I have a few plans that I'm going to implement to make sure I engage the community members. One is a project. I'm going to initiate a project. It's going to be a very simple project. For example, starting up poultry farming. Yeah, this is going to be managed by, of course, the guild, but then hand in hand with the community members. Yeah, the poultry farm will attract laborers from within the community. Yeah, by doing this, you will be passively giving the skills to these community members, not even without going directly to class to learn some of these things. And the school will be able to fully engage the community members by initiating such projects and engaging the community to work in such projects. And also, we can literally engage the community members by even doing some simple things like printing T-shirts. If we can print some corporate T-shirts for them, and maybe write something so simple like Muni University community on it. It is just to make everyone feels that they are part of the community.
Okay.
We can sell to them. They buy, and then they feel part of us. They feel they're part of the university, and they will be able to sell our university outside there. Because I believe they take a good portion as far as the stakeholders of the university is concerned. They preach a lot about the university if we engage in them. And I believe it's going to work. And also, I plan to organize for inter-faculty debate. This inter-faculty debate is going to be between different faculties that exist within the university. But this debate is going to be either on radio or on West Night TV like this. Yeah, students will come here and debate about community issues. These community issues will also engage, it will attract the community to talk about these issues that affect them. And collectively, we'll be able to come up with some solutions that will even solve some community problems that exist within our community. And I believe these few and simple techniques will be able to engage the community members and participate in Muni. And also, you know, the community gives a lot to the university. First of all, the land that the university is
situated on.
Is being given by the community. So if we ignore them, I don't think it will be a very good idea. And our mission clearly states that we need to promote community empowerment. That's there in our mission. And in also my plan, I plan to give back to the community by buying simple things like dustbin and then putting it in strategic locations like these small markets like Munisite, a winter market, and also maybe water and some other small markets. This dustbin will be managed by the community members, and it's going to benefit them. It's going to remain there and remind the community members that Muni University exists and it is here also for you too.
All right, dear viewer, that brings us to our first break. And really, I'm yet in the show with, that is, Guild President-elect for Muni University, Honorable CHANDIGA Wilson, as we discuss maybe what transpired during the process and really what made him to go through and now what awaits him that is in his next leadership. And really, you can realize that he's talking that is political. I do not know that he is a politician, but really, I knew him as a teacher in the making, but he will be able to also really tell us more, maybe if at all. He had a political background, and definitely we are expecting him to do that in the next hour of the show. But for now, let's first have this short commercial break, and when we bounce back, we shall be able to continue with the conversation from there. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are yet continuing with the Kokoliriko live show, the first edition for this week, and I must say it's a great pleasure also you as the viewer out there watching us. And this is definitely the show that really we must also bring an impact that is on the society within West Nile sub-region. And you realize today that besides all the growing, that's various institutions that we have in West Nile sub-region, so many students have not embraced all these universities, and with not an exception, that is of Muni University. Today we have this university in place, but really so many students from West Nile sub-region have not yet embraced this university. That is why they opt to move to their regions, and really I will be able to also ask the guest to tell us maybe in his own tenure what is he going to do to make sure that this narrative changes, because up to now we have so many courses that people really go and study from other areas, and yet we have the courses here. What is that one thing that is not being done? And this is a clear manifestation. If you move to the university, you realize that so many of the students from West Nile sub-region have not yet embraced this university, and most of the faces that you will be able to realize there are people coming from outside. Where is the gap? And maybe what are you going to do to change this narrative that is currently ongoing at the university? You must welcome back.
Thank you so much. You know, our university is a very big university. Only that we are not doing enough in terms of selling it outside there. We have programs like HEC that exist in the university. But because many students outside there, they are not aware that this program exists, you find people go up to Mbarara University, up to Makerere, Chiambogo, traveling very far, when we have these courses also existing here. And I believe if we can do enough in terms of advertising and also involving the media, especially when we have activities taking place within the university, we need to involve the media. And the media is, of course, a platform where people get information outside there. They will be able to sell our university outside there. And also, we can do sensitization over the radio, and also making use of platforms like West Nile TV like this. You know, the guild has been sitting quiet, I must say that, in terms of sensitizing or moving around. Because you find our schools that exist even within West Nile, if the guild can do enough by moving from school to school also, preaching some of these news, preaching that, you know, we have this course existing. If you didn't perform well in A level, maybe you can do, and you can go and do this and this, the HEC program. Then after that, after a year, you'll be able to enroll to a bachelor's program. You know? But the guild is not doing enough in terms of selling out the university outside there. So I believe by involving the media.
So where could maybe the gap be coming from? Could it be coming from the administration or the guild? And then maybe if it's coming from the guild, what are you going to see to it that you change this?
I will say it is also coming from the guild. And I've seen the administration trying their best, advertising the university. But the adverts, you know, it has to be reinforced. That's one thing. If you just put advert outside there, and then you don't go physically to talk to these people, it also becomes hard for someone to really get completely changed and get interested in what you're trying to mean. So I will say, much as the administration is trying their best to advertise the university outside there, the student body, that's the guild, will do the backup. They can go out and talk to students They can go over the radio and address issues, and then also talk about programs that exist within the university. And then they can come to TVs like this, West Nile TV, and talk about Moni University and also the program that exists. What are the good things that exist in Moni University? And if you're coming at all here, what do you need? Because we have people who are very far. But they might be interested in Muni University. But if we don't let them know what is here, if we don't let them know that our people here, the Lokbara community, are very good people, they always welcome people, and then they stay friendly with people. If we don't sell out these things, then no one else will do it for us. So it is our collective responsibility, including the media team, the guild, the administration, and everyone else, that we need to do this collectively and make sure the university also stands out. Okay,
maybe one question that I feel I need to ask you is that what challenges have the students of Moni University been encountering, and how do you intend to really also help them in this situation now? I believe just like any other institution, there could be a challenge that the students could be facing. For instance, if you move to the university, you realize that the issues of marks are always there, and then maybe welfare. At Moni University, what is that one challenge that you have realized and you want to change in your leadership?
Yeah, thank you. You know, we stay in hostels and rentals. Actually, every student at Moni University is in hostels or rentals. And some people rent within the town here, others are within the university there, others are coming from Windiri or Iwata and wherever. You know, but some of these hostels, they charge a lot of money, but their service, the service they provide, doesn't correlate with the charge they are imposing on students. So the administration tried their best to make sure some of these hostels are approved. No, but approving them, I've realized, is not enough, because someone will just come from somewhere and then construct near the school there, and then go there and talk to the administration to come and look around his hostel and then approve it. But I realize our hostels need to have standards. The standard is supposed to be provided by the landlords going through specific terms and conditions that the hostel needs to meet, and then the administration license the hostel. Because if they don't do this, the service delivery will always be not equivalent to the money students are going to pay. Right now, so many students are complaining. They are paying crazy amount of money, but the service they get from these landlords, from the hostel owners, from the rental owners, is really not really equivalent. So in my plan also, I will work with the administration to ensure some of these hostels are licensed, not just approved. This is going to make sure they have standard, they have some good standards, and our students will be okay in terms of their welfare. And also, Mr. Presenter, we have students that resides across Onzivu. There is that bridge there behind the university. I mean, that river behind the university. It is.
I actually happen to have passed via the bridge, and you realize that the bridge is not in good shape, and that could also be posing a security threat to the lives of the students. First of all, maybe hooligans or bad people could be hiding under the bridge, and at the end of the day, they may attack the students. Maybe also in terms of improving the security there. How best are you going to also ensure that you work hand in hand, maybe with the other relevant security agencies, to see that you address this?
Security there is one thing, but then another thing also, because when it rains heavily, the river overpowers, and no one will be able to cross. If it rains when you were the other side, you have to stay there. You cannot come for lectures. It's going to be impossible. And we have community members who resides in Ocholini, and that's the shortest route they used to go to Awintri. They also use that very road that goes using that Onzivu River. So in my plan, I'm going to work with very many stakeholders. One, the local councils. I will engage the local councils, and then I will engage the community members through LC1, and then also the administration, to make sure a bridge is constructed there, at least. This is going to help both the students and the community members to safely pass there, no matter the scenario, whether it comes raining or what. Because the students which those students which reside across there, they are really facing a huge problem when it rains, and they will not be able to pass through to come for lectures and other things. Yeah.
Okay, in a special way, I would like to appreciate the following poster, Jonathan, watching us and says, good morning, Western Television, watching us all the way from university. And they also have Lada Wilson saying, good presentation, our president. I believe these are your students or voters. Then there's also Chris 001, and he says, big congratulations to you, His Excellency Yoweri, and I don't know why he's calling you Wilson, upon emerging victorious, and may God bless you, and you achieve all the set goals and plans for the regime. Best of luck, and that is a message to you, and also really, I must say. And he also went on to say, good morning, Western Television. It is a dream of students of Mon University to experience such a vibrant leader who knows the interest of the students and the committee around. And definitely these are the messages that the students are also making to you. And you can also see clearly reflected on the screens. And I don't know how best you intend also to really give back to the students, because in most cases students have that belief that once they elect you, and this is also not only with the students, today you realize that so many of these community members who voted their various leaders are saying 2026 is not very far, we are waiting for you. Are we also going to be seeing also the students saying maybe 2025 is not very far for you to also leave the office, and that would also just come maybe if at all you fail to deliver to them? How best and how planned are you to see to that you not disappoint the students because they trusted you with their votes?
Thank you so much. I think the best way not to disappoint with the students is to work with them. If you freely interact with them and collect their views, their ideas, I don't think there's a way you fail, because if you interact with the students, they always have that idea of what they expect you to do. And they will always be feeding you with the information that, man, you go there and do this and this and this. But the moment you hide yourself from the students is when you will start failing. If you make yourselves inaccessible by the students, that's when you will start failing. But if you freely interact with the students, if you move freely with them, if you do anything, everything you do with them, even if it is sports, go and play with them.
Okay.
Do everything with them. By doing this, you will be getting feedbacks from them, and you will be able to get good ideas from them. And some of the things that you may not even have no idea about, like when you want to implement them, you will have solutions coming from these students. And this is going to simplify your work. You will be able to work smoothly.
Okay, that is from how best you're going to work with them. Then maybe we also what are we waiting for you from you now in the next few days before you kick off the office? Because on Saturday at least we did see the students celebrating. We did see the celebrations were very, very much massive. I don't know where that came in from, because your camp was termed to be the camp of hooligans. I don't know what you can maybe say to us. What really made these people to term your group as hooligans? And then what is that one thing that really could you also make us understand could have resulted into calling your camp the camp of hooligans?
I think earlier on I talked about this. I explained a few of this. You know, when there's election, there's always propaganda. And if the propaganda is strong, people will always believe that it is true. And people labeled my camp as chaotic, and as comprised of full of hooligans. And that's why up to now people are still talking about the hooliganism in my camp. But I want to assure everyone that even the security praised us even during open air, and also during election time on Saturday, because we remained very humble, and we were showing really good character, and we were united. And that was the best thing I can assure you. And I want to assure everyone that my camp was so united. And the only thing people could talk about it to weaken it is to label it as chaotic, composed of hooligans. That was the only thing they are trying to bring out. Otherwise, the police carried out investigations, but the report we got from them is that we're okay. Our guys are okay. They are not chaotic. They have not done actually all the things they were reported to have done. So in that, I will say my camp was only that they are very united, and everyone was equal. There was no ranking. No one was above the other. So everyone felt they are part of the camp. Yes.
During the election process, there is one thing that you could realize: some of the voters could not leave, and that is one observation that was clear. At least I was there from morning up to about 11 p.m. That's when I actually got to leave Muni University after the elections were announced and the election results were announced. Sorry. And I believe there's one thing that the students actually maybe wanted to keep with you. I don't know for what reasons. Maybe you will tell us also why the students were rallying behind you till the last drop to see to that maybe all the things go on very well there.
Yeah, you know.
Could it be that the students maybe did not trust the process, or they wanted to see to that they really wait for their victory?
You know, when there's election, there's always that that people get scared. You know. Because there are rumors that in the past elections, there has always been rigging of election, and matters there is no clear evidence, but that has been circulating around. So my camp were also worried, me and my camp were worried that maybe there's going to be rigging. That's why everyone was vigilant that day. Everyone was watching everything with their eyes out.
Okay.
They want to be there until the last declaration from the EC. And that's why you saw my guys there. They were never going to go away. They always remained there to make sure the election process is exactly the way EC issued out the guidelines. EC issued out. So that's the reason why. But I'm not going to say that there was rigging. No, I must appreciate the EC. They have done really a very good job, and I think they have done their part really, because the election process was very smoothly done, and also the police, the security, they have done a really very good job by making sure that nothing wrong happened.
Okay.
Everything was okay, and people voted, and those who were not eligible to vote were also able to understand that I'm not qualified because of ABCD. They didn't cause any chaos. They just left quietly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about those who did not qualify, one of the criteria that was being checked is the IDs, and then leaving smartphones away from the voting center, which to me was good. To also avoid tendencies of maybe also other issues that could have arisen from these issues here. Maybe what did you really also make of the whole process? Was it transparent enough? Because you realized that some of the students were said to have been stopped for not really also possessing some of the documents that they were needed by the university for them to take part in this election. That is why you may also realize that some of the positions had very few people voting for them, except maybe the guild-based election. You realize that the other positions were a bit also competitive, but the competitiveness was at its peak, that is at the guild presidential race. And maybe why did students vote for you very, very much like that? Where do you attribute maybe that factor to be arising from?
You know, according to the constitution, the eligible voter is that one who is fully registered.
What do you mean by fully registered?
That semester. Fully registered means you don't have any fee balance remaining from last semester, and this semester also you have paid your tuition fee, and you are fully registered on your student portal. And that was the eligibility criteria, one major eligibility criteria coming from the constitution. And I believed EC implemented it the way it was, and that's why so many people were not eligible, because many of our people here are private students. Sometimes they pay their tuition towards the end of the semester, to make sure they sit for exams. And also, you can't guarantee, you can't tell me that everyone is going to pay in time, because even at our homes, financial level is always going to be different. But I believe to create fairness, something has to change. Okay. Especially because you cannot tell me that I have an ID, I am fully a member of the university, I am fully a citizen of the university, and I am not eligible to vote because I have not paid fees this semester. Okay. It is not really fair, but we had no option, because that is what the constitution is saying. But I believe I'll try to...
do you look into maybe amending?
Yes, we'll need to at least change something. If we can use the enrollment, it's going to be fair, but still not favoring everyone. But in my regime, I'll try to collaborate with the administration, and we'll see to rectify that issue in the constitution. Yes.
I think I also want to appreciate the following people whose comments have coming through. The Supreme Technologies congratulating CHANDIGA Wilson upon winning Guild presidential race. That is also to you. And then there's Talemwa Pius, and he says, thanks for the program, Mr. President. Also, he's willing to work with you. And not forgetting Jalot Simon, who is the 8th Guild President, the Guild Speaker, who actually served, that is under the 8th Guild, and had an interaction with him over the weekend also, where he actually told me where the chaotic scenes witnessed elections were coming from that called for the heavy deployment, and he actually did also appreciate the EC very, very much for ensuring that these elections run very, very smoothly there. And I also want to maybe also rally him now to see to that they support you because they are the predecessors, and definitely they have to also support you with the former Guild President and other leaders to see that they create for you that environment, because once really these candidates, these predecessors not create for that environment that is suitable, definitely you will encounter a lot of challenges. And I also do not forget that is Evelyn Immaculate, and she is thanking you very much there. And maybe before you get into the final, that is the final break for this hour, what is that one message that you feel you need to let the students know of?
Before I give that one message, I want to also thank the 8th Guild. By the way, they worked tirelessly, and they gave the students their best campus experience by organizing the Freshers Ball. It was very massive, and everyone enjoyed it, including me. So I must really thank them for that. And they have set for me a very good foundation, which I am going to start from. And then they are, of course, now the leaders, and they are the one to tell us that this thing works like this. And I am going to also work with them and collaborate with them to make sure my regime is successful. And one message that I want to pass out is that the guild that we are going to start very soon is going to be a guild of change. It's going to be entirely different from the other guilds. This is going to be a foundation for a student-centered guild. It's going to be initiation. That is going to be for change. And I want to assure everyone that my vision is very clear, and I want a guild which is going to feel every student is empowered, every student is catered for, supported, and their voices heard in the respective offices. And this does not mean I'm going to work independently. I'm going to work with the administration. I'm going to collaborate with them to make sure we give students the best they deserve. Okay. Exactly. Okay. You have that. I think that is where the issue of the student-based leadership comes in. But I must tell you, without the support of the administration also, definitely you are going to encounter a lot of challenges, because serving with only the support of the students alone definitely is also something I must say is very, very difficult. And that is why you need all the support of all the stakeholders, because you realize that the students themselves are the stakeholders, and then the administration is a stakeholder to you. And you also mentioned the community. Definitely you very, very much need them, so that the students that you're going to lead will not encounter a lot of challenges maybe from the community where they are living. And that is one thing also really we are going to be following up on. And remember, this is the Kokoliriko live show. It's channel 0073 on Zuku and online from wherever you're watching us from. We say it's a great pleasure having you begin your week with us, and this is where West Nile Television comes in each and every morning. And remember, you can watch us from any part of the world, and this is quite simple, where you can actually access us. That is via Facebook, and where you can just simply search for West Nile Television, and you'll be able to solely find a link maybe that could link you to our morning show. And that is one reason also you must be watching us each and every mornings. And remember also, you can watch us via YouTube, and definitely we are there. You can also really drop your comments, and you can really realize that I was able to also sample and highlight some of your comments. And not forgetting X. For those of you who are on X, these are the corporates who really believe that they are corporates. Remember, you can also really watch us via that platform there. And feel free to drop your comments, and we shall be able to also share with the rest of the viewers. But for now, we are going to be running for yet another commercial break. And when we return back, we still have lots more for you on the show. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. We're here to continue with the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television, and this is the show that definitely should start off your day, because it is surely the one that will leave you updated and also informed about what is happening in the world of current affairs. And remember, over the weekend on Saturday, we did witness students of Moon University going into polls, and right on my right is actually the candidate who did go through. And especially, I also want to congratulate his opponent, and this is Cayenne Roslyn, for putting up that spirited competition to see to it that, she would wish to also take over the position, but really the voters decided this way, and I really now expect her to work hand in hand with the person who has been elected, but really also putting up that spirited fight shows how strong she is, and I also want to appreciate her for putting up that fight that we did see going on at the university. And then one thing that we are now also talking about as we reach the evening of the discussion is the issue of selling the university. You realize that the university is not very much felt in this region, and this is one reason as to why students want to move away from this sub-region to see to it that they also go to maybe in Kampala or other areas outside Kampala, or for instance in Mbarara, and leaving this university here. And I believe the predecessors could have done very much to see that they sell the university. For instance, I did see them organizing the Freshers Ball, which was really quite good, where we did see a lot of entertainment issues going on, and I was part of that. And we also did see them organizing the cultural gala, which I believe was also really quite good there to see to it that these events all go on well. And these are the things that I believe could have sold the university. But really, the impact of the university in this sub-region, more so in the rural city, is still very much not felt. And you realize that the university also has arts courses, which is not very much known. And this is why students opt to move away from they maybe sub-region to other areas. It's because they do not have that information maybe in relation to some of the courses that are being undertaken here. And in your own, maybe in your own leadership, what are you going to do to see to that you make the students be felt, maybe make this university change, and students will feel it, and the students should also feel themselves that yes, they are the university, Moon University, because sometimes you realize that some of these students are not at Moon University because they wanted. And really, what are you going to see that they now feel the environment that they have come into finally, to see that they also love the university and cherish the university and make it shine, just like the other universities. That would also really be very good for me. I don't know what new strategy you're going to do to see to that you make this university that one maybe admirable place, so that other students after your regime could also maybe get attracted to come to the university.
Thank you so much. As I said, the 8th Guild did their best, especially organizing the Freshers Ball, which in my regime I'm also going to continue from where they left. It was massive, and I'm planning to make it even better, more better next time, because I want to engage the community in it. And they charge also, the entry fee actually is was 5,000 for the outsiders. But I believe if we can lower it to around 2,000 or 3,000, we'll be able to attract so many other community members to come and be part of us during the Freshers Ball. So I'm looking also into that to make sure we engage them fully, and they're also part of us. And also the cultural gala, it will continue to be there, only that I'm going to change some few things, because the last cultural gala, the feedback students received, I mean, from these associations who participated, were kind of not good. Some students were not satisfied of how they were treated. They felt they were treated unfairly, and we really need to sort some few things out as far as cultural gala is concerned. And then also, the new things that I will engage in is that to sell the university out is that the sports team, you know, the sports sells our university out there. They play a bigger role also in selling our university outside there. And in my plan, we need to improve the sports team, and we need to do better in terms of facilitating them, and we need also to do better, because we can attract better. We can attract good sports students, players.
Sorry to cut you short. You realize that some of the students whom I knew coming from this sub-region, who were initially footballers, are not playing for the university. Maybe what could have had that challenge, and how are you ensuring that you also bring them on board? One notable candidate I would mention to you that is that your transport officer, Mr. Swali Elias Banduru, who was actually vivid. I was able to see him maybe trailing with you on the motorcycle, and also at the time you also went through, I was able to see him with you, still very much standing strong there. And he is actually a footballer whom I've known, and really, I don't know why he's not participating at maybe for the university team. How are you ensuring to see that students like him are brought on board to see that they participate in these games?
You know, there is no motivation coming from the sports union to motivate our players to go and play. You realize that, first of all, the facilitation. Like if you're playing a home game, these people are facilitated, like they receive some petty amount of money, like 10,000, 20,000. This cannot even buy them players, I mean playing boots. This cannot buy them these attires, these sports attires, for them to train and do other things. So I believe if we facilitate them better, we will motivate them to come and play for our university. And also, the way we treat them, the way we value them matters. If we don't value them, there's a way they feel that the university doesn't even care whether what we do or what. They don't care. Like there are cases where students go out to represent the university outside there. Say maybe Makerere, to go and sell out the university. But behind here, normal things are happening. Lectures are going on normally. Tests are going on normally. Students are being taken for research, hospital practice, other things. And when they come back, and they request to sit for the test, which other students already, the lecturers sometimes may even refuse from them. So we need to value the sports team. We need to tell them that we value you, and we believe you are the right people to go out there and sell our university. And if we do this, we will attract more people, and more people will get involved in selling our university. So I'm going to work hand in hand with the sports union and also the administration and my GRC for sports, games and sports, to make sure we try and also improve the facilitation for our players, and also we value them. We value them because they are doing really a lot of work for us. And also, we have few sports that exist. We have football, volleyball, and other sports that exist. But there are some also that because you can't tell me that everyone loves football or everyone loves football. I mean volleyball. There are some people who loves other things.
Other games, yes.
Yeah,
so the board games.
Yeah, so
do you have them at university?
We don't. So we need that inclusivity. We want everyone to be included in some of these things. So when others are going for football, others will be going for other sports activity. So we are also trying to look into that. I understand maybe the guild will not be able to do this alone, but we can initiate, we can advocate for this. Okay. We can advocate for this to change. And by doing this, you know, some people from very far, they may be attracted to come here because the university provides this type of sports activity. They will be able to come and participate because that is their passion, you know. That's what they love always to do. So we are going to try and advocate for that. And by doing this, I believe we'll be able to at least push hard in terms of selling our university outside there.
Okay, that is in terms of selling the university, and then also the constitution aspect of it all. Maybe talking about the issue of the constitution, what are those gaps that you have realized that you feel, if given chance, you need to amend them to see to it that without interference of other stakeholders for the betterment of the students and the university at large? What are those gaps that you have identified in the university constitution, more so when it comes to, we talked about the elections, and then I believe that's not the only one. So many of these, maybe these rules need to be amended, and you feel that once you take over office, you work hand in hand with the relevant authorities to see that you amend these rules. You know, apart from maybe the electoral process and then other issues, maybe where do you feel the gaps could have been that you feel need to be amended?
You know, the constitution, when it is being amended, I think we are supposed to gather feedbacks from students, the students' ideas, because these are rules that we are going to make for the students. It's going to govern the students. So, first of all, we want to first engage the students, because these are things that we are going to guide them. And when I try to ask around, many students, they were not even aware that these rules exist. They were not aware that these things exist in the constitution. And like that of registration, many didn't know that it is there in the constitution, that if you are not fully registered, you will not be able to vote. They didn't know that these things exist. And as I talk right now, I'm sure those students who have the constitution right now, the current constitution, they cannot even reach half. Why? Because we're not doing enough. Because we're supposed to explain these constitutions to the constitution to the students, but I think we are not doing it. And also, there are some key things, by the way, that are not there in the constitution. And when we were for briefing, the Electoral Commission, when he was briefing us, he said the constitution lacks few things also, because it didn't point out the role of the presiding officer. Actually, there is no presiding officer according to the constitution. That's why in the recent election, the Electoral Commission had to appoint someone just because the constitution didn't say anything about the presiding officer and other things. So to me, there are things that we really need to rectify in the constitution, and it also should be in line with the view of the students, because these are things that we are going to make it for students, and if we don't include them, it's going to be unfair. That's my belief. So I'm going to work hand in hand with the administration, including the university legal officer, to make sure we try and rectify some of these missing things in the constitution, and we bring our students to satisfaction.
Okay. One concern that has been raised here is the issue of retakes, stopping other students from aspiring. And I believe this is not only happening at Moon University. And recently, during the Guild presidential election, that's for MOBS, you realized that one of the candidates who was actually said to be the one in the lead and was actually pulled down because of issue of suspected retake. And then maybe how do you intend to look into that? This is one of the concerns that has been raised by one of the viewers here.
You know, the university wants to have standard. And some of these things are governed by policies. So, well, we can advocate for something to change if students are not satisfied, but also we need to realize that the university wants to set a very good standard, because this is going to be seen by everyone else in the world. So, if we say whether you have retake or you don't have retake, you must go and aspire. Well, it is okay, but then we also have to look at other things, because this may not be able to set for us a very good standard, and I believe the university, especially the administration, have thought about that critically. That's why they are working within that policy to make sure the university have that standard, just like other universities. Yeah.
The way you respond is more of a politician than maybe a teacher in the making. I don't know why that. Maybe also if you could be able to tell us your political journey, that would be quite good. Because the way you are responding to the question, I must say, yeah, you sound more of a politician than a student who is being made into a teacher. Because teachers usually is it because most of the politicians that we have today also, you realize that most of the LC5s, and then maybe most of the MPs also who are in the parliament, who are vivid and vibrant, are teachers. maybe first take us through your journey of maybe what could have also maybe made you to reach this milestone of becoming a guild president, because I believe it is not an easy thing.
Yeah, well, I've been a leader since primary and then also secondary.
Where was that?
My primary was in Ajumani. There is a school in the village called the Borol Primary School. That's where I sat for my PLE. And then secondary, I was entirely in one school, and I was able to get involved in some political affairs at that level. And then currently, I'm also holding some position as far as politics is concerned, but it is at the association level. Yeah, I am the current president for Madi Students Association in Arua. Yeah, we have like 5 universities that exist, including Moni, Bugema, MUBS, yeah, UCU, and also there is IU. And then we have other institutions, over 17 other institutions that exist within Arua. They are including like Arua Institute of Health Sciences, Innovatives, NIMSA, and many others. Yeah, and then also at national level, I'm the vice president for Madi Student Union. Madi Student Union is a union that encompasses all the institutions, including tertiary institutions. Yeah, in Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah, so currently those are the positions I am holding. And at Moni, we also have a very small community. It's called the Madi Community Muni.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am also the speaker there.
Okay.
So as I pick right now, I'm holding some few positions, and I'm learning a lot as far as
maybe
leadership.
Do you also intend to go past maybe the guild leadership, and maybe at one time also could we see you appear maybe as a candidate for an MP seat or mayor seat or perhaps LC5 seat at the Juman district where you come from at one time or in the future? Or you are just stopping with politics here? And why did you join politics? Because there is some money that is said to be given to the guild. I don't know how much, I'm not sure of how much it is. Maybe could that be the reason as to why you also joined politics? Could that be the reason?
Not really. I contested for this position of guild president just because of the reasons that I gave earlier on, to make sure I work for the students, to be there for the students, and to work with them, of course. But whether I'm going to be a politician tomorrow, I don't know. You can't predict the future. And as they said, leadership comes from God. The leader is always chosen by God. If God says, I should go and be there, the MP of representing Azuman, it's okay. I will, of course, be willing to to work. But, of course, if you can't, for right now, you can't say that. You can't say what the future brings you. So you just have to stay there and then, yeah.
Okay. As we are coming to the climax of the show, maybe who are those people that you feel that you need to appreciate? But before we get into that, the Mani community, I do understand that all these things are doing a lot, maybe in terms of bringing the students together. How have you been helping the students at your own capacity to see that you bring all the students from Madi sub-region together? And you realize sometimes once these students move, they feel disassociated and they do not want to really also mix freely with their colleagues or maybe where they come from. How are you ensuring to see to that you make that issue out of their minds by making them feel maybe proud to join any association of itself? Because at University I was able to realize that besides the Mani community, there was also Nkobaza Mbogo, and then the Basogo also had their own groups, and you realize that so many of these and the Alurus also had their own, and all this bring together the students. As one who comes from maybe the Madi community, how have you been helping them to see that you bring them together?
You know, these associations, they exist. We have so many associations in Muni University, and we also have so many clubs that exist. You know, these associations normally comprise of specific tribes. Yeah, normally people who speak the same language, people who comes from the same area. But the clubs are the mixers of everything. They mixed everyone, whether you're coming from where or where. Yeah, it's a mixture generally. So if we want to promote inclusivity, we need to promote clubs. The sessions are good, of course, for cultural things, for cultural displays, and other things, just to make sure we maintain our culture. But then the clubs, I believe they perform the greater role when it comes to promoting that unity, because they unite different tribes together. And in my also plan, I really plan to promote clubs and also the associations, of course. But in my opinion, the clubs really need to be promoted. We need to sell them outside there. We don't need to let the clubs die off. We need to, because there are some cases of tribalism actually in our university, and so if we want to fight this out, we need to promote the clubs. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
You know, talking about all these associations, I believe they are playing a crucial role in terms of ensuring these students stay back to their roots, and that is in terms of culture, so that they do not deviate away from maybe their cultures. And you realize that at the university, more so maybe some of these universities, it could not be happening at Moni or elsewhere, but at the university, you realize some of the students maybe also tend to move away from their cultures, and they tend to do things that are very, very much uncultural, and which are really very, very much at the undermining maybe their culture and traditions. I would not mention maybe in under what category exactly, but you know what I'm talking about. And how best are you maybe going to ensure that these students maintain their cultural identity? More so the girl child, who is very much vulnerable to this. How are you going to ensure that you protect your girls so that maybe other people want to take advantage of them, to not also ensure that they take the advantage of that? And maybe what message do you also have for the girl child? And you realize that most of them were actually behind you. And I was able to realize so many girls actually are behind you. And maybe how are you going to ensure that you protect these girls that we're talking about here?
Yeah, one thing I'm happy of is that at our university, there are no cases of gender-based violence. Everyone is treated equally, whether a girl or boy, and that's one thing I'm proud of. And I believe I'm going to continue preaching that. And we need to stay united. And the girl child, of course, they're doing well in our university, and they're the minority there. That's very unfortunate. And we need to go and preach. We need to go and preach outside there so that we receive more girls at least. Because right now, the majority are the boys. So, and
this is one observation, I must say, from Western Sub-Region. Most of our girls, after senior for branch to other technical institutions, maybe other institutions, for instance, the nursing schools, you realize that this is where most of our girls stop. And our parents feel maybe that is the way to go. And they only give the chance to the boy child to proceed up to university level. How best are you going to ensure that maybe you use all the means within your capacity to see that now parents from this sub-region understand that the girl child has to proceed up the university level? And maybe how many girls, you can make this assessment maybe at what is happening at the university there. How many girls do you have there from Western Sub-Region compared to those coming from the other regions? You will tell me that. How are you best ensuring that, how are you going to ensure that the community where we are living, more so the community in Arua, has to understand that girl child has the right to proceed up to university level?
You know, traditionally, people used to believe that the girl child, they don't really deserve to go forward as far as education is concerned. And the effort has been placed forward to fight for this. You know, different organizations, NGOs coming up to fight for this. Government is trying their best to fight for this. Everyone is at least trying to address this issue. But up to now, still, some parents have that mindset. They believe the boys deserve more than the girls. And I think if we can really sensitize massively and we involve these ladies who are there at our university to come and talk to these parents themselves, because they can give the example themselves. Because if I am a girl and I've gone to this level and I am doing this and this and this, my parents are proud of me. Why can't you let your girl also do the same? We can do sensitization over the radio, Western TV like this, and even on social medias, to make sure we eradicate this mindset from our parents, and make sure they also promote their girls and encourage them to go and continue studying. And right now, as I speak, the population of girls within Arua and those outside, I think those ones coming from outside, they have outweighed the those ones coming from within. And but there are things that we can do to make sure our girls here also gets motivated and go and join Muni, other than going very far or stopping at senior 4 and joining a nursing institution somewhere. We can encourage them to go and join university.
Okay.
Because these days, even if you perform poorly in A level, there are programs that you will go there and you start with.
Okay.
And then you enroll for bachelor's.
As we come to a close of this discussion, we're just left with about 2 minutes. Maybe your final words to see to that. Maybe you also give back and appreciate those people that really rallied behind you. I do understand that there are students who have accompanied you, and I will not mention names because at least I've seen some who have actually moved with you up the station here to see to it that they also really accompany you and do not also really let you be alone. And that means that they are standing behind you. And that is also maybe where the issue of the student-centered leadership is coming from. And in just 1 or 2 minutes, if you can have your final, so that will be quite good.
Yeah, I want to thank each and everyone who was there for me, supporting me, and then pushing me forward. I have my guys who have been really working with tirelessly. People like Bomboka Ediga and my senior, that's Mr. Aluma Sudison, and my big brother here, Mr. Bantulu. He has been there for me. Actually, he was the man in charge of transport.
That's why I call him transport officer.
Exactly. Exactly. Mr. Aland, and then Eric, Awasua, Mr. Ben, and everyone else. People helped me a lot, Mr. Tolga, Emmanuel, Oscar, and very many others. They really stood with me, and they believed in the reasons, and that's actually what pushed us, and many of my other people. So I want really to say a big thank you to all of you, and you guys, I cannot appreciate you enough. Thank yous are not enough, but I pray God will reward you, and then I also thank Mestlai TV for giving me this opportunity to come and talk to the community outside there and address issues concerning Moon University. I really thank you guys enough, and then I promise you we will continue to involve you for activities that will be taking place in the university, so that you will be able to also give information to the world concerning our university. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through. And also, as I do not forget, I want to appreciate that one student who actually broke down when results were being announced. And I did not know why the student was actually crying. And one of the students, I believe you're not around, he was wailing seriously. I didn't know what exactly happened. I thought he was the loser. But only to my surprise, it was said to be tears of joy. And this is one thing that actually very, very much amazed me with these elections here. And we look forward to having more of these elections. And then maybe also at the other various institutions, we shall be able to also keep on following. And that is one reason as West Nile Television we're here. We are here to enlighten the region. And that is one thing that as to why we're always here. And remember, tomorrow, you can also really be part of the show. And tomorrow we shall be having, that is leadership from Arua City as we talk about the trade order. And you realize that our city today is looking a bit very, very much disorganized. That in terms of people parking anyhow, the street vending. All those discussions will be here tomorrow, and that is one reason also you as the viewer right now, you need to be part of, and this is one reason as to why we're here. We want to make our city better, and for us to make our city better, definitely we have to work together. But for now, really, allow me also let go of the student to also go back to maybe where he is to start from, and that would be quite good for him there also. And I want to also appreciate that is each and everybody who shared your comments. We do not take them lightly. We very much appreciate them, and we say thank you so much, and really we look forward to having you more, that is tomorrow. But that does not mean that we are stopping with the show here. We still have other topics now that will also help us summarize the show. And up next will be, that is the Liberty News, that is with Fete Emmanuel coming, that is at the hour of 9 a.m. Please stay tuned as we bounce back shortly from now. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. This is still the Kokoliriko live show. Welcome back from another discussion that is with the Guild President-elect of Muni University. I hope you did have a wonderful time with him there. And now we are in the evening of the show as we also get to summarize that is some of the stories that could be happening elsewhere away from the region. And really, I must say yesterday, South Sudan actually announced that is the closure of schools indefinitely. That is effective today. And this is actually to help prepare for the intense heat wave in the coming weeks. And this has actually also raised questions by some of the students from maybe elsewhere, saying the same could actually be maybe implemented here. And that is one thing also maybe our students want to look forward into. And definitely we are saying no. Our education system needs not to be also tampered with, because if you realize what happened during the COVID-19 period, you realize that this also had its own negative repercussions where the students were able to sit home, but which had, of course, its own devastating impacts. For instance, the issues of teenage pregnancy, which was very, very much high, and this is also one thing that is one reason also why we do not want to see the close of schools, because usually all these have its own negative repercussions. They come with their burden. For instance, that is the early marriages and early pregnancies that I did talk about, and now South Sudan currently is facing that is showers in heat, that is in heat wave, where the area has actually become very, very much unbearable, and more given the circumstances under which we study in Africa. And most schools in Africa, you realize that they sit in the classrooms where the heats are usually not very much, and mixed with the congestions that is in our schools, definitely that is something that is definitely not good. And we really pray that the same does not extend to our Uganda here, more so with the UPE schools and USC schools, where the congestion in most of the schools is very much high. Definitely we're also going to be affected, and that will also call for the same, which to me I do not want to see. Maybe also that is why the issue of climate change is coming very, very much important there, and that also should be an indication to us out there that we have to protect and also take care of our environment and the climate also at the same time. And that is one thing also that would help us in terms of also protecting our environment at the end of the day. And the heat wave is projected that is to intensify in the coming weeks, which could not also put lives of people in the East African country at risk. So I think that is also something that we also seeing now to combat that. The South Sudan government has actually called for closure of all schools to also maybe help prepare for this event here. At the end of the day, we also want to see the students may be returning back to school quickly, and if the schools are to install maybe ACs where our children can still continue with the education system, that would also really be quite good, because with the issue of close of schools, I'm not one person who really buys that idea, because if you really reflect on what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, you realize that our schools did go through a lot when it comes to issues of the closures, where our children were home. And I do understand that moving from one place to another, which also had its own negative repercussions, for instance, where it resulted into a number of early pregnancies. And I must say that is also one thing that really we shall be able to also maybe remember the COVID-19 pandemic for. And you realize that most of the girls who actually got early pregnant, who had early pregnancies, had the early pregnancies at its peak, that is during the COVID-19 period. And really that is something that we did see going on there. And that is one thing also we must say is not very, very good. And now moving to Obongi district, government says no, that is police bond for defilement suspects. And really, this is something that we are seeing happening right in Obongi. And frustrated people with rampant cases of defilement in the district, authorities in Obongi district have resolved to scrap that is bond rights for anyone accused of the crime. And this comes in response, that is, to the alarming number of defilement cases registered within the district, and the prevalence that is of defilement cases. Also, child marriage and teenage pregnancy in Obongi district is alarming, with high statistics indicating that is the concerning trend over the past decade. So I think to avert all these challenges, the leaders are now saying there's not going to be police bond for whoever is a suspect, maybe in terms of also defiling this girl child here, and somebody may be asking who a defilement case is. And really, this is also where if you maybe sleep with a girl who is below the age of 18 years, that's where the issues of defilement cases comes in. And because our laws guarantee a person as an adult, that is only if the person clocks, that is the age of 18 years. And that is also very, very much important. If at all the districts in Western Sub-Region also to embrace the same, that would also really be very, very important for me there, because you realize that most of these districts also have these tendencies of defilement or early pregnancies going on in their districts. And this does not only limit itself to Obongi district alone, but it's also happening as well as elsewhere. So I think to avert these challenges, that would also really be quite good there. And according to various stakeholders, this is attributed to a number of factors, not limited to lack of sexual and reproductive health information, to help girls make healthier choices. And realize that our education, our also cultures do not very, very much pave way for that is issues of sexual education. Our children, our aunties rarely sit with the children to also take them through about issues of this sexual education that also may be contributing to these issues of the early pregnancies. And moreover, over the weekend also, the NRM registration and verification exercise also did close, and we did see the turn-up was in lower in most of the places. And I must say also that could have resulted from the issue of inclusivity, because most of the leaders I had chance to interact with were saying they were not involved in the process as to why they opted not to also really see also they themselves take place in this exercise. And surprisingly, we did see a number of opposition members also crossing that is the ruling government of NRM, and also having themselves registered and verified. That is something that could have been a shock to most of these people. And where we did see LCs, where we did see former member of parliament aspirants also now crossing to the ruling government. And I believe that is because now we are clocking 2026, and they feel maybe to also obtain the flags also is very, very much important for them, because you realize most of the people within sub-region, Western sub-region, are affiliated to the ruling government of NRM. And now people have been comparing the kind of maybe the representatives that the region has been able to give out to the nation vis-a-vis the kind of services that we're having. If you have to really look at maybe the issue of power, which is still very much contributing to deaths at the hospital, you realize that also this has actually been blamed. And now critics are saying the kind of maybe representatives that we have given, that is to the nation, compared to the kind of services we are getting, is not matching. So I think that is something that the leaders from this maybe the critics from these areas are saying, and now they're saying also with the high mortality rates. And you realize that Western Sub-Region also still registers a number of high mortality rates, and where our mothers continue to lose their children, that is to also several diseases, which is really quite unfair. And all this are happening within the Western Sub-Region. These are some of the issues actually which were raised over the weekend. And also really we realized that so many things did go on right from other aspects of life. And sports was also really not exempted, and really to a shock. We did see our teams from Arua also losing to still within teams within Northern Uganda, where we did see a team that is in our regional league, Arua City Football Club, also losing to one of the teams within Western Sub-Region. And this is actually one that was really, we did see where they were beaten 5 goals. And before Big League, we also did see Onduparaka Football Club losing, that is to Blacks Power, a goal to nil, scored by former Also, one of the boys who was actually initially within the city here, Maduka Innocent, actually scoring for that team from Langwa there. And I must say all this did go on. And Manchester United also did pick a win over Liverpool there. And this was also a shock after extra time to most of the people now as the game also came to an end. And remember, so that is just the few we could also sample for you. And maybe that could have transpired in the world of sports over the weekend there. And I must now say that we come to a close of today's discussion. And we very, very much appreciate you who watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning. We say thank you so much, and we look forward to having you again tomorrow. And up next is the news bulletin Lubarati, that is with Fete Emmanuel. Also, you still also need to be part of the show, because definitely, if you do not know maybe what is happening in the world of news, you could be left behind, because an informed person is one that makes informed decisions, and that is why it is always very, very much good to be informed. And for you to be informed, definitely that calls for you to be part of the news bulletin. And really with that, I come to a close of today's discussion. I appreciate my producer Bonnie and Dizon, and not forgetting the senior girl behind the camera, that is Aita, also for making sure that we look as we look, and that definitely tells us maybe how professional we are. And we shall be able to come back, that is tomorrow, for the Tuesday edition. And this is also where we are going to be hosting authorities from Arua City tell us why the need for, that is the trade order, is very, very much important. Stay tuned for the next program as